Judgment is one of the most common reasons that people will not speak out. Now, if it's a child or an adolescent afraid to speak out, generally it's because they've been groomed by the predator that they will get in trouble, that they're lying, that it could hurt or harm the predator and put them in jail, and that's not a good thing, that they will be killed, that their families will be hurt. So this judgment of this responsibility to themselves, that if I say anything, people are first going to think I'm a bad person, I've done something wrong, this is not what should happen because I've been told otherwise by the perpetrator. Now, for adults that were abused in their childhood and have not spoken out and still suffer with the trauma and the torment of those nightmares and those horrible memories and of those weird feelings that they just can't shift and haven't yet spoken out, there is no time or place that's right or wrong to speak out, and it's never too late. But the biggest conversation I have with people is that their fear of judgment, that someone will look at them and go, well, why didn't you say something? Why have you left it till this late? And then, how did you let that happen to yourself? It was never your fault. Never, ever your fault. And the first thing that happens in these conversations are victim blaming. The comments like, why didn't you say something sooner? That's victim blaming. That's to say that the victim should have said something because it was their fault and their responsibility to say something to protect themselves. No, it was the predator who did it, and they just shouldn't have done anything of such nature. It was nothing to do with the victim. Now, judgment is looked at quite interestingly because people who feel they're being judged feel that that person that they're talking to is looking at them as if, well, I had the same life as you. I knew this person also. What did you do different in your life for this to happen to you? Because it didn't happen to me. And that, honestly, is what it feels like. It feels like someone is looking at you and thinking, how did it happen to you, but it didn't happen to me? Because they can't fathom the idea of someone being so horrible, so bad, so wrong, especially if it is someone that is known. Remember, 90% of predators are known to the victim. So that means probably known to the person that you're speaking out to first. Now, they're looking at you going and questioning, how did this happen? And I understand that question, how did it happen? As a victim myself, I've spoken to many victims and looked at their stories going, shit, how does that happen? But it's not a question you ask a victim because it was not for them to know. It's more a question of how the hell do shit humans like this exist? Judge them, not the predator, not the victim. The predator is the one who did wrong. Understand that. Now, if you are someone as an adult, a grown adult, you may have children, family of your own, you may be in your teen, growing adult years. You might be in your really, midlife years. Now, if you're considering saying something or speaking up or trying to move past a trauma, judgment first, and I learned this the hard way, judgment first comes from yourself. Now, when I first believed that I was being judged, it was because I was judging myself. It was because I believed I did something wrong. I was groomed and taught that it was my fault, and it's my fault that it happened to me, and I should have stopped it earlier, and I should have said something earlier, and I should have known better, and I should have remembered it earlier. And then when I spoke out, that all the things that the repercussions that happened with the family were my fault, and the repercussion of the family breaking ties and people not believing and people not liking me and removing me from their lives was my fault. So I judged me. The reality is that judgment is the most harsh judgment you will ever live with. And when you move past that, no one can ever judge you again because you know your truth. You know the reality. And if you find these people that do judge you and do hold something against you, then they're not humans to be in your life. And unfortunately, the truth is, some of these will be the closest humans to you. Siblings, parents, partners, friends, children. They will want nothing to do with you. And this is all because of an environment they live in. This is what they've been taught, what they've been raised to see, how they potentially have been groomed. And there is no excuse for it. But it starts with us taking a stand, us making a difference, us understanding and accepting that we need to do something to create change. Something needs to change for something to change. So if it's a matter of you feeling like you are being judged or afraid to being judged when you do speak out, know that you are first judging yourself. Question that. Answer those questions. Find the truth. The reality is you did nothing wrong. There is never a time too late to speak out. And the more we do speak out, the more that we are honest with the situation that has occurred, the better opportunity we have to defend and protect others. The better opportunity we have to allow others to have a voice. And the more knowledge about abuse that is out there, the freer people will feel to speak out. And hopefully one day, the less this shit will happen. So please understand that judgment first starts with yourself. Do not judge yourself. You did nothing wrong. They did something wrong to you. And that's on them, not on you. You are moving forward, you are growing, you are surviving, and now you are thriving. So don't judge yourself. The predator was at fault, not you, the victim.